Roughly 23 million Americans are drowning in medical debt. Perhaps you can relate. You may have heard, as of this month, the third major credit bureaus are actually easing up on the reporting of medical debt.
Yeah, Shelley, but that doesn't mean the hospitals won't pursue you for the money that they say you owe them. I spoke to Dr. Virgie Bright Ellington, who's been fighting her own industry after the patient in the next bed when she was in the hospital, basically with a stroke of a pen, signed her way right into bankruptcy.
The billing department rep from the hospital came in and said, before you can leave, you have to sign this form saying that you agree to pay whatever your insurance doesn't pay, that she basically signed a financial agreement that I knew was going to destroy her family's financial future forever.
Did she have an option to say, no, I'm not signing this?
You don't have to sign anything. Do not sign anything.
Dr. Virgie Bright Ellington says if you sign, you forfeit your ability to check to see if you've been overcharged or hit with services you never received. Instead, she advises a three-step process in her book, Crush Medical Debt. First, she says call the hospital's billing department
and say, I need a real bill. I need a bill with what's called CPT codes.
CPT codes describe the medical service and details what insurance providers are willing to pay.
So with that step 2, you're going to take those CPT codes and Google them. Make sure it sounds like the services you received. And while you're Googling, you're going to Google what Medicare pays for each of those services. If the federal government says this is the price that is valued for that service, that medical service, then that's the price that is the fair price and not the upcharge.
Dr. Ellington says often what the medical facilities slap you with is 300 to 500% more than what Medicare pays. She says armed with this information, go to step 3.
Call back the provider and say, look, you charged me $10,000. When I looked it up, Medicare pays, let's say, $3,000 for these services. I want an interest-free payment plan that fits my budget.
Then the doctor says once you negotiate the bill down, make sure you pay that payment plan on time.
Unfortunately, now the number one cause of debt and bankruptcy in the United States, medical bills. It's just outrageous, and it can stop.
Hi, I'm Dr. Virgie Bright Ellington.
She says use her three-step plan she teaches to avoid being one of the thousands of Americans saddled with medical debt that creates its own 911 emergency that can wreck your finances for life.
Just, look out for yourselves. The medical for-profit, healthcare industry in this country, gets us when we're at our most vulnerable, when we're sick, we're tired, we're in pain, we're least able to fight and advocate for ourselves.
I think we can all appreciate that Dr. Ellington actually gave us some really tangible advice, some tangible steps to take in our lives. Let me ask you, did she suggest anything for what we should be looking out for, those red flags?
If they come to you and suggest, hey, we've got this credit card, a medical credit card, you could put all those charges on. She says, don't do it. One, it usually has higher interest rates, and you give up your right to negotiate the bill down. Yeah. In addition, those monthly payments they usually charge are really big. So, as the economy changes, you might not be able to afford it. So she says, just be on guard, and she details everything in her book and has a lot of other stuff you need to be on the lookout for with medical charges.
And if you think you don't have debt, this could happen in a matter of time. It doesn't have to be a chronic disease.
You could fall off your bicycle.
That's right.
Yeah,
Then you'll be picking up that book.
Exactly.
All right, thanks for that.